What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're going to finally start taking this K24 apart, mostly just for the timing chain we're going to work on. And before we start, guys, just a quick reminder, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel so more people can see these videos like these, and you can keep up to date to my build, and share your thoughts on this K24 build. Is there something that I might need to know? All that good stuff. Again, guys, thank you so much for your support. I'm super excited for this one. This is a cool new experience for me. Anyways, enough blabbering, let's get to it. So first thing first, we're gonna go ahead and start taking this crank off. We're not gonna need this because we're gonna use the K20 crank pulley. So we just want to go ahead and break this off. So you will need a special tool, a Honda tool, just to remove this. So this is a size 19, or you can use a 3/4 just to put it in a socket. You could also use this hefty tool right here. I got it from Advanced Auto. So it's pretty much a Honda crank tool. So you keep this crank in place, and you want to put a breaker bar right here, and then another breaker bar with the size 19 fit inside here, and basically turn it in opposite direction and try to break it. At the time, luckily I had help, because honestly, guys, this thing is on there. Like, we had to really struggle on it, and yeah, but we finally broke it off. It's loose, so we're gonna take that off. Oh, quick thing before you start taking stuff apart, you want to have like a little oil pan right here on the floor, just in case, you know, a little extra oil decide to leak, so you don't try to prevent as much mess as you can. And also relating to the block itself, it's on this engine stand, and I took off like a lot of the components. The only thing I kept was the water pump and the power steering, which I don't need this for the for the swap, so I'm going to take this off later on. But I'm gonna leave the water pump just for a little bit, just in case. Who knows, I might not need it, might just swap it with the K20. Everything else is pretty much the same, but I took the starter off, I took the alternator and the AC compressor. I took the intake manifold, because we're not gonna use the K24 intake manifold, so I took that off. Don't forget to tape up any hole or anything like that, because you don't want any anything fall inside the block. That'll be a huge no-no. But anyways, enough with that. Let's start taking these taking this timing cover. Let's go ahead and remove the valve cover, and once we remove that, then we start with the timing cover. So to remove the valve cover, it's pretty straightforward. Series of 10mm bolts all the way around. Once you remove that, you get like a prying tool, pry up the cover, and it comes right off. So get one of these pliers or some kind of tool to grab it. When you pry, you just kind of like, I mean, not pry, when you grab it, you just want to like apply pressure, keep twisting. I'll pull right out. It was a little bit stubborn, but I got it out. This might be a pain, mainly because the Honda bond was holding really well, but you want to get up here and just be real gentle. You just want to break it open. You don't want to necessarily apply too much pressure and damage anything that, you know, you might cost you down the road. There we go. got it out. So voila, we got the timing chain. Before we start taking everything apart, first thing you want to do is leave everything in timing. So you want to have both cams and crank all together. So for the crank, so hopefully you can see this, but for the crank, there's going to be a little arrow right on top right there. I don't know if you can see it. You need to have that arrow pointing on the arrow that's on the block. That's when it's indicate that it's top dead center. Another way you could verify the top dead center, you want to have cylinder 4 in the back and 1 with a piston all the way up. So right now I'm touching the piston, so that's cylinder 1. Same thing with 4. For the cams, you're gonna have these 2 marks right here. They should be touching, pointing at each other. That's when you know that these are also in timing. So before we start taking everything apart, you want to get 2 lock pins. These little lock pins, they're pretty much Honda lock pins. You're gonna use those to put in to keep the cams from moving when you're taking it off. So you're gonna have this in here on each side, and you basically insert it like so, and you do the same thing on the other side like so. So I will leave the part number for this. It's a great investment. It's cheap. It's like what, 20 something bucks, maybe a little bit more, but you get this, I promise you, this is gonna help and save your engine. All right, now we got everything lined up, everything is in timing, so we know we don't have to worry about that. So we're gonna go ahead and start taking everything apart. The first thing we want to do is go ahead and take the tensioner. We're also gonna go ahead and remove 3 of these bolts for this side of the guides. Got that out of the way. To get the other guide off, it's gonna have to use an Allen, and for that it'll be, I believe, H6. You want to go ahead and keep this, might need it for the future. For the top, for these 2 bolts, you want to go ahead and remove them. They're going to be a size 12. Also keep in mind which side this should be on the exhaust side, it should be on the intake side. Also, I forgot, you want to go ahead and remove this little gear right here. This is mainly for your cam, not cam, your crank position sensor. So want to go ahead and remove that. Also, just a reminder, it only fits one way, just like the crank pulley. So there's a little tab on top, you need to have it there. So it's pretty straightforward. If you notice each teeth that goes around, that pretty much tells you the position of the crank, and this double teeth right here usually hits the reset. So that's pretty much why it looks like that, but it only fits one way. You have what it says outside. You want to make sure you put that have that facing outward when you reinstall it or put a new one in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, let's get the oil pan off. Alright, so having the engine flipped over, as you can see, you got both guides right here. You have the chain itself, and then this on top, this entire thing right here is the oil pump. So what we're going to start by doing, we're going to go ahead and start loosening these bolts up top as first. So I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. So we got 4 bolts to remove that, alongside with 1, 2, 3 bolts right here that connects to the tensioner, and I think that should be it. And that's pretty much it, guys. Next video we'll be doing the Type S oil pump and doing a little modification for that. Again, guys, don't forget to subscribe so you keep updated on the videos coming out. Go ahead and smash that like button, show some love, and if you got any questions or comments, go ahead and leave anything in the comment section down below.